Hey folks, welcome back to the cabin. We are having a heat wave. This is great. Last weekend we were in negative 33 degree weather, that's Fahrenheit. And this weekend we are at 10 degrees. And this here is swimming suit weather. I love this. We've got roughly about 2.5 feet of snow, which isn't a whole lot compared to what we normally get this time of year. So we got a couple things I want to share with you today. The first thing is we had a subscriber that sent a really cool gift to the channel. It's something that I think we're going to be able to use on a regular basis. And stick around for the end of the video. I'll show you what it is. And I'll tell you who sent it. And the other gift is not exactly anything real huge, but it's gonna save me a lot of grief. One of our subscribers last week was telling me if you want to keep the bears out of your tree stands, to use cayenne pepper on the on my ladders. I say tree stands, but I also use them as survival shelters. I thought that's a pretty good idea. I'm gonna try that. And neighbor came over today and he seen me with all this cayenne pepper and he was wondering what the heck I was gonna do. And I told him what I was doing and he said, you know what? Today's Saturday, I was at the dump. I think I got one thing that'll one-up that cayenne pepper that you should probably try first. He says with the cayenne pepper, awesome idea, but we do get a lot of heavy rains here in the spring. And if I put it on my ladder and stuff like that, it would just wash off. I am gonna put it in the tree stand and see if that doesn't help deter anything from there. But I'll show you what he brought me. We're gonna use this around the legs of the shelters. But first, let's go out to these stands and I'll show you what the bears like to do in the spring of the year. I already had one video earlier where I talked about this and I showed all the subscribers, but I've got so many more new subscribers that I wanna kind of show this in review. For those of you that are new to the channel, here at the, I don't know if you want to call it a homestead or whatever, but at the off-grid cabin, every spring of the year, I have a battle against the black bears. I love watching black bears, but them suckers are destructive and they're everywhere up here. And I've been having problems with them chewing up my survival shelters. All right, here's my smallest shelter. You can kind of see up there. If you look at it on the very top up there, you'll see I've got some steel roofing that's overhanging the top. That's because this spring the bear decided that they wanted to chew the shingles off the top of the tree stand or survival shelter. So I had to you're stuck on a branch there. I had to re-roof it. But then another thing is it's got to be a pretty good sized board that's doing this. You know, I'm just under 6 foot tall. And see the leg up here? Look how that's all chewed up there. That bear has got to be about 6.5 foot tall in order to chew on that leg. So I've got to come up with an idea. I think he's chewing on the legs here just to kind of show the other male bears that they got to get out of here. This is his territory. I do have a really fertile sow that lives on this property, and she usually has anywhere from 2 to 1 year I seen her with 4 cubs. So he's probably excited about having a date with her. So I've got to figure out a way to eliminate the damage that he's doing. So this is the first shelter that I'm worried about. It's only one leg that he chewed on. Let's go take a look at the other stand that I have. Check this out. I'm not sure if this camera will pick up all the trails that are running through here. It looks like we have an abundance of deer, but it's not. Those are all the wolves. So that has me a little concerned. Luckily this year, Wisconsin is allowing us to harvest some of the wolf population because they are so overpopulated in this area. All right, so we're at the other shelter now. You can see this one's much bigger. I'll see if I can splice in a further away shot. This one is 5 feet by 8 feet, and it has 8-foot ceilings in it. It's terrible to hunt out of because it's an echo chamber inside there. But the reason I built it was in case we ever got stuck out on the backside of this property. I've got a wood burning stove in there. We can fire it up, or if the cabin ever burns down, now we have an alternative place to sleep, at least for the night, and keep warm. So, all right, check this out. So this bear here, you can tell, not as big. That's probably about maybe 4 feet up he starts, and I've got chew marks up to 6 feet. I think this is probably 2 different bears that are hitting this, because every year it gets worse. It could be the original bear, just the bottom part is when he was younger, the top part is when he's older. But they're going to chew through these legs and knock these shelters over. And a couple of the other legs have got damage, but I just want to show you the ones that are the worst off. So that's what we have to address. And here's what we're going to do. I'll take you back to the cabin and I'll show you that present that Mike brought over for me. It's more old corrugated, or not corrugated, but steel roofing material. And I don't think they're going to want to chew on that steel. I could be wrong, but obviously they want to mark trees and stuff like that. They don't want to be going to the dentist getting new dentures because they're chewing on steel. All right, we got our coverings for our legs. Let's go in the woods and see if we can put them on. All right, I didn't want to bore you to death with putting this thing up, but what I did is I just wrapped it around the legs, and I'm roughly about 2.5 feet all the way up to about 6.5 feet high. And then I went ahead and tacked them in with a ribbed nail so that hopefully this thing won't come out. So we'll see. This is round 2 with the bears. We'll see if this is a successful venture or not. But that's going to be my resolve for right now. I'm going to wrap all the legs with this. I'm not going to bore you to death because this is really actually time consuming. That steel is not as flexible as what you would think. So I have to wrap it. I tack it in first with a couple nails. Then I wrap it with a ratchet strap. And then I ratchet strap the thing tight. and then I'm able to sink nails in. So anyways, hopefully that'll be it, and that will discourage these bears from doing any more destruction. I wanted to get ahead of them before the thaw comes, and this is the time to do it. When them guys wake up, they are hungry as heck, and they are willing to eat everything and anything, and they want to stake out what areas are theirs. So with this on here now, I'm sure I won't have to worry about him chewing on it. So if he chews on the cross supports, these are only 2x4s. I could care less about these. These I can replace, but the 4x4s are there for the structural purposes, so I don't want those getting chewed apart. So all right, let's go inside where it's warm, and I'll show you what one of our subscribers was kind enough to give the show. So I'm hoping that this trick with the legs is going to keep the bears out of those tree stands in the survival shelter and keep them from chewing on the legs and damaging them. It's getting to be real irritating. I do have a perimeter alarm that I'm going to be using for the cabin itself. If you remember Shorts, my son Shorts, that's the oldest son, him and I did a video a while back about a perimeter alarm that a viewer had told us about, and we were going to use it to try to keep the bears out. I'll put a link for that video right below here. If you want, check it out. It's a really cool device that you can use to keep intruders off your property, whether they be animals or whether they be people. Trust me, this will scare the living heck out of them. It's just a fun little video that we put together. So I'll put the link right down below the description in this video, and hopefully you guys can check it out. But this week we had a really pleasant surprise that came from one of our viewers, and he's a subscriber as well, Darren. And Darren didn't want me to say anything and give him a shout out, so I'm not going to tell you his last name or anything. We'll keep that private for him. But I just appreciate the stuff that you guys do for me. He dropped me a link, an email, not a link. He dropped me an email, and he said, Carl, I want to send you out a coat rack that I make. I think it'll look perfect over the gun rack that Shorts made for you. So I didn't know whether to take him serious or not, and all of a sudden I got something in my P.O. box, and I took a look, and son of a gun, Darren pulled through. He made this great coat rack that is out of iron that he welded together. I think you can kind of get a good view of that, what it looks like. It's even got recessed holes where I can put screws through, and you can tell he's a pretty smart guy. He put them right at 16-inch centers, which will be perfect for hanging on the wall. So Darren, thank you so much. But this wasn't it. Then he surprised us, and he threw a couple bonus things in this package as well. And this is another one of the things that Darren sent to the channel. And this is old school. See this red rose that's on here? I thought that was a cool flare that he had onto these. These horseshoes, old timers, when they completed their cabins, they would always hang these above the door. And it was to invite good spirits and good luck into your cabin. And so I appreciate that. I could imagine Darren putting this together out in Oklahoma. I think we kind of have a bond. I grew up in a farming community in lower Wisconsin, and I got a great appreciation for stuff like this. So these will be hung with one in front of, or above the front door, and one above the rear door. And then the last thing that he got for us are these metal contraptions. You know what these are? These are legs for a target, and they're made perfect with tubular steel so that 2x2 lumber can go in there, and they will hold up a target so that we can go out and sight in our rifles. When it comes to deer hunting, we can use them for sighting in our black powder gun, and of course we can also use them to hang targets off of for when we sight in our shotguns for turkey hunting. And these are going to be a blast. I'm going to put a second link in, if I can, underneath the description. For those of you who are new subscribers, you may have missed it. Another really cool video that I think you'll enjoy, and one that was kind of fun, is when I got together with Shorts and we had the explosion at the cabin. If you haven't checked out that video, check it out. You'll really like it. So Darren, I appreciate what you do for me. All my subscribers and viewers, I appreciate everything that you do for me. Jody from COD Outdoors, he was another guy that he forged me a knife that I used it actually in my last video when I'm starting up a fire outside. I believe that was that video, or one of the last videos. I use it quite often. And I appreciate it when you guys do send me stuff. I don't take it for granted. And by no means do I ever expect anybody to send me anything. But when they do, you know, it's pretty cool. When I come up to this cabin and look at it, you know, I don't think, am I lucky just to have this cabin? Instead, I've got kind of a unique feeling of community. And when I come here, I think of our channel and all the cool people and the friends that I've made over YouTube. I appreciate what you're all doing for me. You know who you all are. And I don't mean to be dropping names or anything, but week in and week out, I got, you know, people that are a little bit fun to comment with. Todd DeYuper, he's one of my neighbors up here. He's I have never met him, but he's a UPer, and he always leaves me words of encouragement. And you know, there's a lot of you other folks that do every week in and out too, and I appreciate these little things and your words that you leave in the comment section. So with that in mind, I'm gonna end this video right here. Just wanted to let you guys know how much I appreciate y'all, and we'll catch you maybe next week. I'm not sure. We're gonna have a real severe snowstorm during the week, and then we're going to have a thaw that comes right after it. So I'm not sure if I can get up to the cabin, but we will catch you next time on Carl's Off the Grid.